Hey guys! Today we are opening November's SCRAWLRBOX. Let's see what's inside and do some art with it. So this is the art of the month. It's Rizo-chan. Put this on the side. We have some watercolor paper. Gouache! The sticker is really fun. I really love how these colors work together. They're really beautiful. I can see it's probably a section of the face. Boop. Okay, so let's see. We have Aquafine gouache, 6 tubes of 15 millimeters. These are the colors that we have. We have titanium white, portrait pink, cadmium yellow deep hue, alizarin crimson hue, cobalt blue hue, and ivory black. We also have a pencil, Robinson Lyra, and I actually don't know what this is. It says Van Gogh selected filament. I have no idea what this is, but it has an interesting shape. We also have a comb eraser, and of course we have our candy. Oh, I can see here, this little fella over here is a Royal Talents Van Gogh series brush. It's like a pocket brush. Ooh, exactly. Here we go. And this month's Scrawler challenge is Face of Emotion. I guess I should write a face showing emotions. I am trying to practice to do more facial expressions, so this might be a very good chance to do so. So before jumping into the actual piece of art, I'm gonna do some rough sketching. I am not particularly experienced at doing facial expressions, and this is something I'd like to improve. I think this is a good opportunity to do a good study on both the expression itself and how to portray the lights and shadows. So I'm going to first do a couple of sketches and to practice how to bring that emotion into the paper, and then I will go to the actual piece of paper that we've been supplied.
I end up settling for a girl holding her tears. She's about to cry, but she's holding her emotions kind of thing. She looks like an elf because as a reference, I used a couple of pictures from Lord of the Ring showing Arwen in a scene where she is looking straight into the camera and holding her tears.
Okay, so I did a sketch there, but it's horrible, so you're not gonna see it. I've done this one, which is a lot smaller, but it does keep some aspects of my style, and I do like it a lot more. So I'm gonna do something like this, and I'm going to transfer it to the watercolor paper. So I am not particularly happy with this sketch, but I need to just move on because I've already used the eraser quite a lot, and I'm worried that I might be ruining the paper, and then when I start with the paints, things are gonna happen and it will go even worse. So I'm just gonna leave it as it is and I'll proceed with the paints. Hopefully I can fix them. I also am aware that gouache are thicker and more opaque than watercolors, so I am not entirely sure how much of this detail is going to be kept in the final painting. I'm going to get started with the paints and let's see what happens. I have zero experience, but I'm hoping that it's not going to be a complete disaster, and if it is, I guess I'll just learn from it. I don't have a proper palette for gouache, so I'm going to use this plastic plate. Not really plastic, it's half plastic, half paper. I know I might need more paint later, but I don't want to have a lot of paint in here that goes to waste. I know you can technically reuse dried gouache paints, but I don't know, I always I'm a saver. I want to make sure that I'm taking good care of all of my art supplies.
I think one of the biggest mistakes that I can see now while I edit the video and I'm observing what I did was I started really dark. I should have thought about the angles of the face and the parts where the light's coming in, and I was intending to pay attention to those details, but for some reason the media overwhelmed me a little bit, and I didn't really get to do that when I was applying the paints on the face. The way I applied the very dark pinks made her look really round, as if she had a very round, puffy face instead of subtle, angled, thinner, more elegant, elfish features. There should be angles for the cheekbones, and they weren't round on the reference picture that I was following, and they were not round in the piece that I had on my mind. I guess it also didn't help the fact that I was working with like the mixes, the colors that I ended up mixing. I was not happy with them, but I was struggling to get the colors that I wanted to get on the picture. If I went back to it, I think I would have blocked light and dark areas in like polygons almost, and then worked from that. I think that would have helped me a lot more in the final run.
Wow, big eyebrow. Okay, so I'm extremely I hate this. I'm extremely frustrated. I've tried to do thicker brush strokes like the featured artist, but I suck at it. It looks horrible, and I think I'm just gonna discard it. And I'm gonna try to do like a flat color drawing. I would love to be able to do this, but I seem to not have the skills at all to do something that makes sense with gouache. I'm going to take a break, and I'll probably come back and try to do a different sketch. This is a huge failure, and I hate it. I really hate it. It's horrible. After my first failure, I'm going to go back to the sketchbook to try go down a different route. I would actually like to do some character design using as a prompt phase of emotion. So I don't know why I started thinking about some sort of character, the tangible living version of emotions in general, and the interest of it would be that it doesn't have a specific face. Let me sketch it out and see if I can come up with a more concrete concept.
So the main thing with this character is that their face is covered with very, very long bangs. I like the eeriness of it when you can't see the face of someone and they're staring at you or facing towards you. That's something that can be scary or make you feel uneasy, and I do like that about this character. And then I wanted to give them, I wanted to feature the emotion somehow, like they don't have a face, but they can wear different emotions. So I added a little like mask showing one of the emotions, and they're about to put it on, or maybe they're just taking it out.
I think I like this concept. Okay. Time to bring this sketch to the paper. So this is the second attempt. Let's see. So here we have the sketch. I've got some clean water, and then I have the old plate. I'm gonna get a new one to do some new colors, but I'll reuse this as much as I can. I have a color palette in my mind, like turquoise, purpley, colder colors on the figure. And then I'd like to have some pink background, pink orangey background to contrast with it. Dumbass.
When tackling the second attempt, I mostly focused on doing flat washes on the different areas and then use cell shading with a little bit of gradient instead of going with my previous approach. I tried to tackle it bit by bit and planning the entire color palette from the very beginning so that I would not be ruining the final atmosphere of the entire piece. Even though the colors went a lot better than in my first attempt, I still struggled a little bit. I was actually planning on the dress and the hair to be different hues. I wanted them to be more of a turquoise, a bit brighter color. And for some reason, I didn't really manage to get it. It was a lot fainter than I was planning it to be, but I do like how it looks like in the end. I ended up making the hair fade from light grayish blue to this bright pink color. The main reason I did that was because I wanted it to contrast with the dress, and I also wanted it to contrast with the background. So it actually played out really well because as the background fades from red and orange to yellow, the hair fades from blue to pink. And this magenta pink color that we have in the tips of the hair contrasts or complements really well the yellow that's on the background. I also like the look of this lineless style that I've gone for. I added very little line work overall. Mostly to separate the strands of hair from each other, and also on the mask to separate it from the color of the skin, which is very similar. When coloring the background, as I was approaching the bottom of the page, I would use a little bit more of water to have a more diluted version of the yellow that faded almost into white. I also like the look of this random strands of hair that float in the air. It makes the picture be a little bit more alive. During the fading of the hair, I also tried to bring the colors from the top to the bottom and from the bottom to the top by doing these long strands of hair. That helped giving it some texture, and I do like a lot how it looks like.
Here's the finalized piece. I've ended up with these two pieces. This one I really hate, so let's just forget that it ever happened. This one, I'm not entirely happy, but I can deal with it. Hopefully next time I'll do better. I hope you guys enjoyed the process, watching me struggle with this new media that I've never used before, and see you in the next video.